People's living conditions are strongly influenced by where they live. For example, there are great differences between urban and rural regions in Germany in terms of education, work, and leisure opportunities. However, too many differences between regions contradict the postulate of equal living conditions in all sub-regions, as laid down in the German Basic Law. Digitalization will lead to a change in living conditions in all regions in the future. This research project will investigate whether digitalization will lead to an equalization or a drifting apart of living conditions between the German regions. Hello and welcome to this short introduction from Hanover. My name is Rolf Sternberg. I'm a professor of economic geography at the Institute of Economic and Cultural Geography, Leibniz University Hanover. Together with my PhD student Lukas Häfner and colleagues Tim Dornius from the Institute for Legal Informatics at our university and Kilian Bitzer from the Chair of Economic Policy and SME Research at the University of Göttingen, I work in the Future Laboratory, Society and Work. There we deal with the regulatory framework and economic policy instruments in relation to digital innovations. My current research topics revolve around the spatial effects of startups, the innovation behavior of small and medium-sized enterprises, and the regional effects of digitalization, among others. The research reputation of our Institute of Economic and Cultural Geography has been based for a good 25 years, in addition to the three topics mentioned, in particular on work on the spatial causes and effects of knowledge and innovation, as well as the interregional economic inequalities within large industrialized countries such as Germany and China.
In the Future Lab, we are interested in the impact that digitalization has on the economic development of different regions and whether politics can and should intervene in shaping this impact. Digital competences are now considered a prerequisite for companies, but also for regions, to take advantage of the opportunities offered by digitalization. However, to date, there is hardly any regional data on digital competences. We therefore conduct interviews in companies on the assessment and the use of digital technologies, and also talk to supporting organizations about the state of digital competences and digitalization strategies in the study regions. We then analyze this data on a comparative regional basis and try to identify regional factors that are conducive to advanced digital competences. By doing so, we want to reduce the research gaps in the connection between digitalization and regional development on an empirically sound basis, paying special attention to the role of digital competences. This is important for society because the economic disparities between regions, often still between rural and urban regions, call for solutions. And so far, it is an open question whether digitalization is part of the solution or part of the problem.
Before the research project began, the research and data gaps were glaring. There were hardly any reliable empirical findings on the question of how digitalization influences economic disparities between regions in Germany. Two contradictory hypotheses can be distinguished. Digitalization increases or it decreases these disparities. Two maps illustrate the spatial relationship between digitalization and the economy. Map 1 shows that the economically strong regions tend to be located in Western rather than Eastern Germany, in large cities rather than in rural areas, and within Germany in the south rather than in the north. A look at the current status of broadband infrastructure in Germany shows a very similar pattern. Map 2 makes it clear that the economically strong regions are also better equipped with digital infrastructure. Under the premise that digitalization has positive economic effects for businesses and the population, this would lead to an increase in regional disparities. In our research project, we want to investigate in particular whether there are also causal relationships between these descriptive findings. Among other things, we want to find out whether the digital competence of entrepreneurs and employees in rural regions can contribute to reducing the economic disparities between rural and urban regions. This is not only a scientifically unanswered question, but also one of high digital policy and innovation policy relevance.